Yeah, she's got to keep the heels down there.
Hello, Gail. Ray?
You're late. Janelle just had a really good run. You missed it.
Actually, I saw it when I was walking up. Worry about yourself. Hey, Janelle. Good job, baby.
Woo!
Good job.
Keep your heels down, babes.
Keep your heels however you want, Janelle. Focus on yourself, not on negative people trying to get in your life, tell you how to do things. So I got the principal job today.
Cool.
Cool. You go ahead and admit it. My success enrages you.
I actually don't care at all.
Oh, you don't care? Sure you don't care. Of course you care.
No, you're right, Neil. I'm always thinking about you. You're right. I forgot. It's all about you.
Well, actually, it's not about me, because my mentor's wife was diagnosed with melanoma. So how silly do you sound now?
I just heard a nice "oh yeah" from the audience.
That was for you.
Yeah. No, that was for you, Busy.
This is fun. I've never done this before. Wait, I have a kitten. Can I bring my cat up?
I have a cat here with us too because
I know.
let's bring him up. Why don't you introduce him to us, Busy?
Well, guys, this is Norton, and he's my friend, and I'm a cat lover. And I'm here today to talk about vice principals, but also he's hiding his
He's
little
being
head.
shy. He's camera shy.
I love him. But also to tell you about this amazing program for my fellow cat lovers out there that Purina is doing for the month of July, which is that if you buy a bag of Purina cat chow in the month of July, they will donate one meal up to 5 million meals, and that's our goal, to an organization called Rescue Bank that helps to feed animals in shelters and in other rescue organizations. So it's like trying to get good nutrition to those cats who are waiting for their forever homes, and it's very important that we help give those cats the best start that they can have before they get adopted. I'm like a big animal. I'm all about adoption. I'm not about buying animals. And I love my cats. And this is Norton, and he's such a cutie.
Look how cute he is.
He was gonna just chill here if you don't mind while we talk.
Yeah.
So anyway, buy Purina cat chow in July. Even if you have a cat, don't buy it. You don't need to buy it if you don't have a cat. You could buy it and give it to someone, and then you'd still be doing good.
How many cats do you have?
Okay, so our cat passed away. Our cat passed away, but we're getting one in August for my daughter's 8th birthday. Hope she's not watching AOL Build right now.
Hope she's not getting a little surprise.
I don't think she would be, but she kind of knows it's coming. She's been asking every day for the last year. So.
Yeah, and so why is this cause so important to you? I know you said you're an animal person.
Well, I'm an animal person. I'm an animal lover, and I feel like anything we can do to help improve the lives of these animals that are living in shelters. There's like 3.4 million cats living in shelters. So if we can help give them a nutritious start to their lives, and then, I was thinking about how grumpy I get when I'm hungry, me personally. Like, I'm such a jerk.
Anger is real.
It is so real. Do you know there's a song called So Angry, So Hungry? There is. I heard it on Sirius like 2 weeks ago, and I got so excited because I was like, somebody feels my pain.
This is my theme song.
It's my theme song, for real. But then I was thinking about, imagine these animals in shelters, and they're not getting proper nutrition, and it's just such a good program, so I wanted to support it as I'm out here talking about other creative endeavors that I'm involved in. Let's do something good as well.
Yeah, let's give Busy a round of applause for all that work. That's
Thanks,
very
guys. Thanks, AOL Build audience.
I'm sure it's important to you to sort of use your platform for good.
I think it is. I don't love the whole shut up and sing thing of, when you're a performer, because I do think you have this unique opportunity. You have a wider audience. You're able to reach so many people. And I also think that you want to pick causes that resonate with you and things that you personally mean something to you. So, I'm involved in a lot of charities in Los Angeles, and I like to be able to use the platform for voicing what I'm passionate about and what I think we should all be doing to make this world a better place, because it's, it's tough out there, guys. We got to do our best. We got to help one another out. Yeah.
Well, the cat doesn't star in Vice Principals, but we're very, very happy he's here because this is the best photo op we've seen on AOL Build.
Thanks, guys.
So
there are horses in Vice Principals, as you just saw.
Yes. Tell me about the show. Of course, it's Danny McBride's new little baby. Tell me about getting involved and who is your character and what can we expect?
Well, it was really exciting. So when I finished When I finished Cougar Town after 6 years, which is so nuts that we were able to have that long of a run, it was kind of a tricky place in my career. What did I want to do next? And was it another network sitcom, or did I want to do something more traditional or whatever? And I got this audition. Danny McBride and Jody Hill and David Gordon Green are doing a new TV show for HBO. And I just said to my husband, I don't care what the part is. I just want to go and work with those guys. I think their comedy, their brand of comedy is so strong. They have such a unique voice. They're like doing things that other people aren't necessarily doing. And I was super excited when they wanted me to be involved in it. So I play Danny McBride's ex-wife, Gail Liptrap, who obviously from that clip has a lot of animosity towards her ex-husband. And Shea Wiggum, the actor Shea Wiggum, plays my new husband, Ray, who's kind of an amazing sort of dirtball. Like we're just, it's a really fun, it's a really funny show. But the show itself is really about Danny McBride and Walton Goggins, who play two vice principals, who are both vying for the job of new principal when the principal, played by Bill Murray, has to retire. For a while, I thought I was going to have to keep the Bill Murray thing a secret. I was like, how do I do that? It's so exciting. But then HBO put it in the preview, so I feel like I can say it.
Well, it's never a bad thing when you get a show on HBO, as I'm sure you know now.
Yeah, no, I mean, the experience was just so different than anything that I had had in terms of working in network television. I think partially because Danny and those guys have such good will with HBO and have been so successful for them. They were given a lot of creative freedom. So, we never shot a pilot for this. It was picked up for 2 seasons for 18 episodes from the beginning, which is wild. Like, I didn't even read a pilot. I auditioned with Sides, and they're like, oh, you'll get the pilot later. Don't worry about it. It's already picked up. Yeah, it's great.
It's Danny McBride, man.
Yeah, he's a magical person. I'm sort of obsessed with him. But I think the show's great, and I think that if people were fans of Eastbound and Down, they're going to really enjoy the show. It's pretty wild. It deals with a lot of different things that are very, applicable to where we are right now in this election cycle and our country, even though it has nothing to do with an election, although to be vice principal, sort of. They're vying.
Very important election.
Yeah, they're vying to be principals.
So what's it like now not being on a network show where you can kind of go balls to the wall in the terms of your humor and cursing and just kind of being...
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, it was super fun. I also was playing, I think, on Cougar Town. I had, for the last 6 years, I've been playing this very light and bubbly and fun and optimistic woman. And then I got to go do something completely opposite. She's like ex-military and, she's pretty hardcore, and she's a hardcore spin teacher, like boot camp spin teacher. And she's really harbors a lot of animosity towards her ex-husband. And they have this 12-year-old daughter together. It's a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah,
so it was a lot of fun.
What's the dynamic between you and Danny on the show?
Well, we're just constantly going head to head, which is great. I mean, it was so much fun for me to play. But he cracks, I always have prided myself, I work in comedy, I'm a comedic actress. I've always prided myself on being one of those people that can keep a straight face. I don't care what I can do it. I don't break. I can do it. And I swear every time he would start to talk, I would my eye would start twitching and I would break and laugh. I love him so much.
What did you learn from doing the show from your fellow comedic actors, if anything?
Well, they really all go for it. Part of what I love about Jody and David and Danny's comedy and the way that they deal with issues and things is that they sort of run directly at it and then kind of punch it in the face, which is just, it's a different way of doing things. And working with Jody as a director, he did the first season and then David Gordon Green did the second season. It was really interesting because they have different approaches as directors as well. And, I really enjoyed working with both of them, but I just found Jody was such a perfectionist and wanted it to always, he would wait until he felt like they got it, So again, because we were on HBO, I don't know, we were sort of allowed that freedom in the schedule and with the budget and stuff. Whereas in network television, sometimes you're like, well, that's good enough. Let's go. It's pretty funny. Yeah. No, I think you got it.
Did you guys get to do any improv? And was that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were allowed to do some improv. I was pretty lucky on my last show. On a lot of the shows that I've been on, I've been very lucky in that improv has been. And I think that like more and more people kind of, well, it depends what kind of show you're on. But I think that, you know, a lot of times the improv is really helpful to get you to a certain place. And then you have to go back to the script to just make it succinct and get across what you're trying to get across. But it's great in terms of like freeing people up, and sometimes like joke pitches and that kind of stuff come up on set. But for me, the way that I've always sort of worked in terms of joke pitches is like I'm like one of these people. I know I seem like a lot of fun, guys, but I take it very seriously. And so I do a lot of preparation, and in my preparation is where I kind of come up with my own pitches for jokes and alternates and things. And then that's where you have like strong writers that are on set, and they, you know, always come with alts and alternate pages and alternate pitches and stuff.
And have you found now that, you know, being a mom to 2 little girls has kind of influenced your comedy a bit? I mean, you play a mom in the show, so.
I mean, no. If I'm being totally honest, no. They have not been a huge influence in this.
Maybe a little more drama in your life?
Aspect. Yeah, for sure. I find it much easier to cry on camera now that I have children. I laugh, but it's true. Yeah, my little buddies. But no, they haven't really like influenced my comedic side so much.
Speaking of all the shows you've been on.
Yes, I've been on so many, guys.
Yeah, let's start with Freaks and Geeks, because we all love Freaks and Geeks.
I do too.
Have you ever been surprised by how much of a standing it still has among fans, even though it was a 1-season, you know, thing?
It's hard to even be objective in retrospect about it. I do know this. This I know. At the time, we all felt like we were doing something really cool. That being said, I've been on lots of shows and sets where you felt like you were doing something cool, and it turns out you weren't. So we did really feel like it was special. And we felt like we were getting sort of a raw deal in terms of the way we were being treated by the network at the time. You know, we premiered the same year as West Wing, and I remember being in TV Guide, which was like, and this is also pre-internet, so it really was pre-internet. Like, I guess Al Gore had invented it, but like, anyway, no. But so I remember TV Guide coming out and saying like they had like their top 5 shows of the new season, and the number 1 was West Wing, and the number 2 was Freaks and Geeks. And I remember being so excited about that, and then we found out that our time slot was Saturdays at 8 p.m. And we're like, oh, well, no one's gonna watch that. It was also before was pre-TiVo and pre-DVR, so it wasn't. People didn't. It's so hard now for even like people in their 20s to like sort of understand like how people consumed media back then how people consumed television back then was very different. And like the numbers that we were pulling, I would have to like look, but I remember them being something crazy like in terms of today's numbers. This was like when Friends was getting like a 33, right? Like a 33 share, and we were getting like a 7 share, and we were canned. Like, you know, like The New Girl, which is like a hit, gets like a 1.2 now, right? So it's like it's all different. And I think that it just didn't get kind of the exposure that we thought it needed. We were moved around a lot. We were preempted for baseball and for other stuff. It was just like kind of a bummer. It really felt like we were the underdogs. But I think it really drove those guys. It drove Judd and Paul and Jake Kasdan and Seth and Jason to just work harder at the next show at Undeclared, and to just like keep pushing and working harder to get their like vision and their voice across, which was great.
Just those names right there, I'm like, oh God, I think they've done well for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, we're all doing okay.
But so you do think if it aired today in today's world, it probably would have had a longer lifespan?
I mean, I think so. I think that shows that are sort of unique and have and are sort of, for lack of a better term, ahead of their time, have a better shot now. Because you find them, you seek them out. It's like the Fosters on ABC Family. Like people, I don't know. Or any of the shows on Netflix or on Amazon or Hulu. It's like, all it takes is like one show now to get people into that network. When Mad Men came out, people were like, AMC, I'm sorry, wait, what's happening? What is that? What is that network?
And then it's Breaking Bad and
Right,
Walking Dead.
exactly.
But we've seen shows too, like Freaks and Geeks could maybe come back for a little spin-off.
Like a reunion show. I don't know. I don't know what Judd. I don't know. We did like a reunion thing for the 10-year a couple years ago. We did like a big panel and a reunion thing for Vanity Fair magazine. I feel like that was pretty much like our reunion. I don't know if anyone wants to really revisit like the whole thing. It sort of also is like then you run the risk of destroying it for people. It sort of remains pure in those 19 episodes. And I'm so lucky to have had that be my first job in Hollywood. And I'm really proud of it. It's awesome.
We can't forget either about Freaks and Geeks, which led to Dawson's Creek, which everybody loves.
Yeah. It led to me being on Dawson's Creek.
Yes, of course.
Not everyone.
How did you feel about, even now, still to this day, there's still talk about Dawson's Creek needs a reunion, Dawson's Creek needs this. And
yeah, I think it's interesting. Creek. Yeah, I mean, it's tough for me because my part in that show, I came in the last 2 years of the show, and I was in sort of like the college years, and I'm, if I'm being totally honest, and I think I've said this before, so it's not like I'm not revealing anything big. Okay. I didn't watch the show before I was on it. I actually had never seen it before I was on it. And so for me, I don't understand why people are clamoring for a reunion. I think that Kevin Williamson came back and he did those last 2 episodes of the finale. And I feel like he ended the show the way he wanted to end the show. And I don't know if he would be down for doing a reunion, but like he killed Michelle's character. Like, so she's gone.
Spoiler alert.
You're not getting her back. Oh, please. If you haven't watched it, guys. Yeah. I can't start.
Would you even want to go back without Michelle, who's like your best friend?
I know. That would be tough for us. As we do everything together.
I'm going to the set of Dawson's Creek. See you later.
But I also wasn't even in the finale, so my character wasn't even there. I was sort of treated as like she's gone now. So I don't know. I'm sure that if like Kerr and Katie and Josh and James wanted to get together, I
feel like they've said that they don't, so I think.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is what's interesting to me. Literally, I don't think anyone has said they want to do it, and people ask me in almost every interview about a Dawson's Creek reunion. I'm like, I don't know where this narrative is coming from. I'm almost positive everyone has been like, yeah, no, we're not really. But not for lack of like, I just feel like they ended the show, and they ended the show.
This is what the internet does. It just literally.
I know, and I know that everybody likes to like reboot and have the same stories over and over again, and it's very comforting, and you have nostalgia, and it reminds you of your college years or your high school years or whatever. But like, get over it. Let's find something else to watch. Let's watch Vice Principals. But
that's the thing. I was just gonna lead into that because we've seen this like whole spin-off reviving old shows when there's new shows like Vice Principals and that need the new attention. We don't need to keep doing spin-offs. Like, what do you think of this?
I don't know. I am really excited about the Gilmore Girls. I have to say. I am actually pretty excited about that.
They brought back Full House, and it's like, do we need to be...
My daughter is obsessed with Full House. So, wait. No, so first of all, I'm convinced that my daughter somehow secreted the Full House reunion show. I am convinced. She was so obsessed with Full House that last year, for her 7th birthday, we had a not last year, 6th birthday, 2 years ago, we had a Full House themed birthday party. Yes, we did.
Did the Olsen twins come?
Well, here's what's so funny, because, I was on ER with John Stamos, and I was like, do I, track him down and call him and ask him to come by. But I think it would have freaked her out at the time. I don't think she could have handled it. It would have been like too much. Uncle Jesse, it would have been too much. She is the most impressed, like that's the most impressed she's ever been with my career, is when I told her that I was on ER with Uncle Jesse. And she was like, are you kidding me? What was he like? But anyway, yeah, we had a Full House themed birthday party where we, at her kindergarten talent show, she did a scene from Wake Up San Francisco where she played Rebecca Donaldson. Now, my 7-year-old is fully on board with Full House. She loves Fuller House. She's watched every episode like 10 times. It's just like really.
So that means you've watched every episode.
I put it on like while I'm making dinner. That's like, you can have that time with, but it's not bad. I mean.
Can you see your daughter being in the business? Do you think she wants to be an actress?
I don't know what she wants to be. I mean, she's 7, but I mean, my baby who turns 3 on Saturday last week, I asked her what she wants to be, and she's like, probably a bumblebee. I was like, yeah, that seems really chill.
Follow
of
that
course,
dream,
you should
baby.
be a bumblebee. I don't know, but I have to say this is sort of like my rote stock answer with this question because I do get it a lot. Look, both of their parents are in the industry. My husband is a screenwriter. He writes movies. I obviously do what I do. We were both lucky enough to have parents that encouraged us to follow our dreams. What kind of jerk would I be if I was like, never is my daughter allowed to follow her dream? If it turns out that this is her dream, of course I'm going to support her. Am I going to encourage other things for her to explore before that point? Yes. I'm not like putting her in, but she guest starred on Cougar Town a couple times. She was very cute. Yeah.
Famous already.
She thinks so. She
You're like, you
really
could be a
thinks
doctor.
so.
Why don't you?
She's
be
like, Mom, people know who I am from Instagram. I'm like, so annoying. And also like that thing about when you raise your kids in Los Angeles, like it just is different. It's just you can't. It's like, oh, that's so and so's mom on that billboard. I'm like, I know it is, sweetheart. When are you gonna get another billboard? I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna. Soon, I don't know. This is also a funny story. We're friends with Nick Kroll, and I love him so much, and huge fans of the Kroll Show. And there was this huge billboard on Sunset of him dressed in drag as Liz, one of the publicists from Publicity from the Kroll Show. And Birdie was young at the time. She was like 3.5, 4. And she was like, Mama, is you on Cougar Town? And I was like, no, it's Nick Kroll in drag.
That's not Mama.
That is not Mom.
But so she knows you're famous and are an actress.
She understands. Yeah, she has a better understanding of than my little one. Because Birdie grew up. I did the pilot of Cougar Town when she was 6 months old. We started shooting the series when she was a year. She grew up on that set. She had a firm understanding of what it was. She's seen me on TV. The little one came along in the last season of Cougar Town, and she doesn't really understand what I do. And we haven't like had that conversation yet.
Yeah, you'll have to bring her to the set of Vice Principals. Although that could be.
No, she did come. I don't think you can. It's just a hard thing to comprehend when you're little. Like, and she watches like Paw Patrol, so it's like I can't even put it in terms of like what those guys do. That's what I do. She's like, what? You're a flying dog? I don't get it.
Do an animated series soon.
I would love to do. I love animated stuff. Yeah, I would love to do. I did this little thing for Comedy Central for this animator Minty Lewis that was totally wild. I love doing stuff like that.
Well, we didn't want to ruin that surprise for your daughter, but maybe they're watching and now they know, hey, Mom's famous, guys.
Yeah. I try to steer away from telling them that. I'm like, this is just my career. It's what I do. People know who I am, but also people don't know who I am. So don't think that everybody knows who I am, because they don't.
It's a good perspective. But these guys know who you are, and they have questions for you.
Okay, let's hear it. What's your question?
You are the TV queen. Everything you do is magic. And I do want to go on record saying that White Chicks is such a great movie.
I know, people love it.
Better than Citizen Kane, whatever. I'm being dead serious.
Guys, I'm on board with that.
So, I'm so happy. So that being said, what are some fun memories you have while being on that set?
So here's the crazy thing about White Chicks, which is like actually happened to me with a couple of the things. I have been very lucky in my career, or I'm just like weird enough that these people find me and cast me in these things that end up like taking on lives of their own after the fact. But to be honest, when White Chicks came out, it was just like universally panned, made fun of. It was like not the thrill of my career. I was so bummed because we thought when we were making it, I was like, yeah, this is wild, but like so funny. And these guys are crazy. And we had a very good time filming it. Also, because of the prosthetics, it took a really long time to film. And so it should have been like a certain number of days. And then it ended up like almost doubling. I think we like lived in Vancouver. We shot a movie that supposedly takes place in the Hamptons in the summer, in Vancouver in the winter. So I was freezing the whole time. But then in the last 10 years since White Chicks came out, this like life that it has taken on is so incredible. And I see Marlon all the time because we work out at the same gym, guys. That's not a big deal. But so we run into each other a lot. He is the best smelling human that I know. Just so that's a good memory. And he smells the same. He wears some sort of Aveda, like just oil or something, and it is like intoxicating.
I could just see you like whiffing him in the gym.
No, I smell him. And the truth is, I bought the Aveda oil for my husband because I was like, I love the way Marlon Wayans smells so much. I want Mark to smell that way. And he tried it, and I was like, it's not the same. It's not the same. So he doesn't wear it. So other than Marlon Wayans smelling amazing, and us being freezing cold, we had like a blast on that movie. The dance sequence was some of my favorite, hardest, most fun stuff that we've ever done because they hired Tina Landon, this like incredible choreographer, and her assistant Jason, and they taught us girls this dance. And you guys, when I tell you, we were so good that when Keenan and Marlon and Sean came in to watch it, because then they put in the boys, after, Keenan was like, it's not funny because they're too good. They look too good dancing. And then we had to like make it look, we had to mess it up. But we were basically fly girls, like for 2 afternoons until we had to mess it up. But like still to this day, and Jennifer Carpenter and I became very, very close friends on that movie. And Jamie King, who I still see a ton. And still to this day, when that Beyonce song, or I guess it was Destiny's Child. Was it Destiny's Child? Crazy in Love? Is that?
Beyonce.
It's Beyonce. It was like the first Beyonce, right?
Oh, yeah, that's like solo
It was
Beyonce.
first solo, right. But when I hear the opening chords to that song, I just like want to start doing the dance.
Someone put the song on. Let's get this going.
I was just with Jennifer Carpenter, and that song came on where we were, and I was like, do you remember it? And she's like, I don't. We couldn't remember the first opening. It would take me watching the movie. I like kind of can't wait for my daughters to be old enough to watch that movie.
And then you can do the dance together.
Yeah, but I love it. Like I was just with my husband, and somebody came up to me in Charleston and talked about how much they love White Chicks, and they're like, is that crazy? Do you never get that? I was like, no, it's the thing I get the most is White Chicks. I get it probably twice a week. Wow. Yeah, that movie's really like lived on. But at the time, could not get arrested. People were like, didn't want to talk about the fact that I was in White Chicks. I'm happy I was.
They do.
I want them to do another one.
Yeah. White Chicks too?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
So what are the mental aspects of acting, approaching when you act on the movies that you played in? How did you mentally prepare for it to give advice to the upcoming actors?
Oh, so, okay. Well, I guess my biggest advice to actors who are coming up. No, one of the things that I think took me a little bit longer to understand was that preparation is key. And even when you audition for things, to be as prepared as you possibly can be, because it will only then allow you the freedom to do your job better. So I always tell people like I'm really good. I'm like, guys, I'm really good at auditioning. I am. I'm a pretty solid auditioner because I learned years ago, or I figured out years ago, that if you just get completely off book and you're totally prepared, then when you get in the room and you have the nerves and everything else coming at you and you're meeting Danny McBride for the first time or Courtney Cox or like people that you've idolized, then you're like, I don't even have to worry about the page. Like the page just disappears and I can just do my thing that I do. And then also to understand this, that like, everybody has their own space in this world and in this industry and in this thing. And if this is what you do and you have your own space and you're not trying to be somebody else, I had a lot of years in my early career where people were like, if only she were quieter or had less moles. I mean, I'm not kidding. That was like legitimately someone's like critique of me. I was like, well, I can't remove all my moles. That would just be like really painful. And then I would have scars. But anyway, so like you have to understand that your place is unique and that if you're willing to wait for it, it'll happen for you. Lizzie Kaplan's one of my closest friends, and she was on Freaks and Geeks. And I remember there were like years in her career where she was legitimately just like waiting for it, like waiting for the right moment. And then Masters of Sex came and it was like, oh yeah, that's what you were waiting for. Like that's it. So there were tough times, but you just gotta like power through if you love it and you wanna do it.
Great advice.
Sorry, that's my great advice.
Wait for it. Okay, we have time for one more.
Just like in Hamilton, guys.
I know, I was just gonna sing it.
Just like Aaron Burr, except don't shoot someone.
How you doing? I'm Jose Emilio.
Hello, Jose.
And thank you. I'm wondering what comedian / actor or actress haven't you not worked with yet that you're dying to work with?
Ooh, that's a good question. Currently working. Well, here's who I love. I'm like such a fan. I'm one of those people that's not afraid to be a fan. I think it's weird when people are not fans. Like, why? Don't you like what you do? Like, be fans of other people. I'm good friends with Gillian Jacobs, and I love her so much. And we've been trying to we did this short film together a couple years ago that was just for, I don't know, for this director to get financing for her movie. But then she didn't cast us in, that's fine. But but aside from those 2 days that we worked together, I would really love to find something that Gillian and I could do together. Similarly, Banks, Liz Banks and I are friends, and I feel like the three of us look like we could be sisters, and I'm trying to figure out how we could all three be sisters in something. I love Catherine Hahn. I love Melissa McCarthy. I'm naming all women, I realize that, but I love my girls. I love my girls. I love Lizzie.
Michelle, I would love you and Michelle to be in something else.
Yeah, I know. Michelle and I have talked about it a lot. I mean, yes, that would be incredible. I know. I know. It's about, it's always about finding the right thing. You know what I mean?
You don't want to do it to just do it.
You can't do it to just do it. But we would like to do it at some point. But then you also don't want it to be gimmicky. I don't want to trade in on our friendship because I feel like we weirdly have become so synonymous with our friendship being a thing that I don't want it to be oh, that's weird. Yeah. So it would have to really be the right thing in order for us to.
But I do want to see this Melissa McCarthy Busy Phillips business. Let's get that going. That would be cool.
I love her so much. She's so funny. Oh my God. And I know her a little bit personally, and she's just a wonderful person. She's very nice. And her husband's rad. She's a good mom. It's all the things you want.
Melissa, if you're listening, let's get this going.
I know.
Well, everyone watch Vice Principals, because I know I will be watching it.
It's soon. It's July 17th, 10:30 p.m. Put it in
Put
it in your computer.
Congratulations on the show, and thank you so much.
And buy the Purina cat chow, please.
Thank you, Norton, for being here as well.
Norton,
you were
Norton
so
is
good.
reminding you to help shelter cats by buying Purina cat chow in the month of July.
Yeah.
Watch Vice Principal and buy Purina cat chow.
Woohoo! Thanks, Busy.